Hey everyone, welcome back to Campus Culture. I'm Cassandra, and in this series, I've been talking with current campus students and faculty. Keep watching to learn more about a member of our vibrant virtual community. Today, we have a current campus student, Ashley. Hey Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Ashley, when did you start with us here at campus?
I started at campus winter of 2024, so I'll be going into my third quarter this summer.
And can you tell us a little bit about your life outside of campus? What do you do and what do you have going on?
Absolutely. So I'm in sales, so I work as a client consultant for some companies, specifically on like the HR side of things. I love doing that. That's my full-time job outside of campus. I'm also a mom, so I have my little daughter. We have a lot of fun together. So school, work, I do a lot of outdoors things. So camping and fishing and things like that. I totally look like I camp and fish, but it's the best. And, um, Other than that, I do several things. I also am a contractor. I do grant writing on the side for K through 12 schools. So that's been really fun as well.
Wow. So it seems like you already have quite a diverse career going on. Can you tell me a little bit about your career path and how you ended up where you are today?
Yeah, so I originally went to university right out of high school at Boise State. Um, and that I went through several different career programs, like lots of different majors. I never really found anything that I loved, and I was just not in a place to make that kind of decision, I think. However, I got like a ton of skills from that. So marketing, I was in a game design program for a really long time and some graphic design stuff. So I kind of took all those skills and I dropped out of university. It just wasn't really serving me. Didn't have any more money. Didn't have really any knowledge of where I was going to go with that. And I started freelancing. Um, I was doing a lot of creative branding outside of, um, you know, any little part-time job I had. I actually started my own business where I was creating Instagram stickers and gifts for companies, really just creative brand assets. And that kind of popped off, and that was very fun. And then after COVID, during the lockdown, I didn't really feel called to do that as much anymore because I got an opportunity with some people I actually went to university with in the game design program to launch a startup um, surrounding esports and video game design for K through 12 schools. So I kind of built their book of business with sales and marketing there, as well as instructing some classes because I did have that background as well. And that grew and grew, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and I loved it so much. Unfortunately, when companies start to get big from getting really small, there are changes that have to be made, and unfortunately, like pretty much our whole sales and marketing departments were laid off.
Mm.
So, but it gave me an opportunity. Like I had so much success with that, and then that layoff happening and being unemployed really gave me an opportunity to like take inventory of everything in my life and kind of where I was going, what my new dream was going to be, because really that was my dream job, unfortunately for me. Um, and so I that's kind of how I ended up exploring the idea of attending school again. Because really, I never, not having a degree never really like prevented me from going anywhere that I had gone already. But entering this like new phase in my life, post like, I don't know, it's like a chapter. Like once that book closed and I'm kind of starting the next thing, I decided that it would be a good opportunity to increase just like my knowledge base and kind of add on to all of the really professional experience I've had to get more of a formal education surrounding all of those concepts, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So you wanted the formal education, and what drew you to campus when you were looking at schools?
So I wasn't looking for schools at all, actually. I was on LinkedIn one day and someone had actually messaged me from campus, and I was like, why not just like see what this is? And so I met with that recruiter or admissions person, and kind of learned a little bit more about it. And what I really fell in love with was kind of more the ethos of campus. Like the mission is actually what aligned the most with like where I'm planning on going in my life. I really believe in, I work a lot in education, and I really believe in equitable opportunities and accessibility, and the fact that this school was like doing the same exact thing that I was like, I've been preaching forever. It just aligned so well with my own mission in life. And so that's kind of what is the reason I was like, yeah, let's go for this, because it just made a lot of sense. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. Campus makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about that personal ethos and why promoting access to education is important to you?
Yeah, I come from a really rural place growing up. It was super rural. We weren't really afforded the same, you know, opportunities, I guess, as like you would get in a larger city. And I just noticed that from a really early age. I actually moved to Las Vegas during high school and saw like how different those school systems were. And I was like, really, there's nothing stopping anybody from providing these rural kids, these farm kids, these, and I'm sure that can relate to other demographics as well, the same opportunities as this like bigger city, suburban area school does. So that's kind of when the ball still started rolling for me on like what's stopping anybody from just helping these kids get a better opportunities in life. Um,
Mm.
and then, going to college, realizing how inequitable that kind of like traditional education is, like if we're talking about higher education. Um, and it just feels kind of, I'm going to use the word predatory, because like getting all these 18-year-old kids who have been told their entire K through 12 life that college is the next step for them. But no one ever really talks about like the impact, like the negative financial impact, I guess, that takes. Um, so that's important, but also my personal goal, like I plan on starting a business that provides equitable opportunities for kids, specifically in career development and workforce readiness out of high school, because college isn't always the right option for everyone right out of the gate. Sometimes we need to do a little more exploration to figure out what it is that we want to do. So I mean, I can get into all of that idea, but really I just want to help these schools. That's why I do grant writing too. Help these schools get programs that their kids are going to be excited about, they're going to be engaged with, and that are really going to bring them more into their like educational futures, whether that be going straight into a career or going to college.
I'd love to hear more about the type of business that you plan to open. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I don't have a name for it. The best explanation is really it's a career technical education marketplace. So, everything that any school would need regarding, like in regards to career focused programs, like project based programs, like, shop classes, even specialized business classes, a lot of STEM activities, even like your home ec. And, my high school in rural Idaho has a hatchery program, um, stuff like that. Like all of the resources, curriculums, and like help that you would need would be hosted on one website or platform. And those would all be from different companies that do really well at what they do, but just bringing it together so that school doesn't have to go through 20 different salespeople to get what they need. They can get it curated to their school all on one platform. So it's a marketplace. The great thing about CTE is that, high school age kids and middle school age kids can really get more involved in their education through like choosing what they're interested in and learning that way.
Let's go back to campus for a moment. So, you received our message on LinkedIn. What do you think was it that ultimately made you apply and enroll?
The flexibility with it being evening classes, because I knew, when I did get another job, that I would be able to balance that a lot easier. It being online, but synchronous, because I liked the idea of that being like a live class, and it is fun being in live online classes. And I knew I could balance everything. I knew it was going to be hard, but that was going to be the easiest way for me to do it.
And now that you're here, what do you think your favorite part has been?
Oh, just like the insane amount of opportunities that I've been receiving, honestly. The connection I have with my professors and my TAs and my success coach. I've taken every opportunity afforded to me here at campus because I'm a yes person. You never know when being an orientation leader might help you somewhere along in the future. So I've done all those things, orientation leading. I've been, creating content with the marketing team. I've been applying for special things that might be happening soon. and and really just getting involved. I meet with other campus people like this often, and I enjoy getting to know people. And that's just been really great and really humbling, I guess, also because I do have this like professional background, and it's been nice to kind of take a step back and be like, yeah, you know a lot of things, but like, what do you know really? It's been nice to like learn all that and test it.
So, what is something that surprised you or that you learned that maybe you thought you knew and now you've learned more about it since you've been at campus?
Yeah, anything to do with accounting. I didn't, turns
Okay.
out I know nothing. I was doing things wrong. So learned that. Um, and my professor, Jono Anzalone, I think that's how you pronounce it, was fantastic in my accounting class. That was a big learning curve and fun.
That's great. You've mentioned your professors and TAs a couple of times. Any other professors or classes that stand out to you from your campus journey so far?
I mean, right out the gate, you start with like a basic business class by Professor Todd Fitch, and that just really lays down a foundation, I think, for the rest of the program, because there is so many steps. It's like a high level overview of everything, but you do go through the whole, creating a business plan process, and I think that's a great way to start out the journey here at campus. Accounting is accounting, it's hard and it was fun, and um, I like a challenge, so that's why I say it was fun. And the professors and the TAs were really willing to spend the extra time to work with everyone. And then obviously like entrepreneurship, just how big of a project that is. Like it feels like a mini incubator, like a business incubator within 10 weeks, and you're working with people you've never worked with before, and you've got to figure that out. And it's a challenge, and it's a fun challenge. So those are the three that stand out the most to me.
What do you think has been your proudest accomplishment at campus?
That is a great question. I think I'm shocked by my grades. I was never the type of person to be able to sit down and do homework and get good grades. But I've really been focusing on comprehension because, I am like a non traditional student. And so coming in later in life has really taught me that comprehension is really what matters, and not grades. So I came in not worrying about my grades at all, to be honest with you. And turns out when you focus on comprehension and not just like memorizing things blindly, you do better in class. So I rocked 3.75 my first quarter, and I just got all A's my last quarter. So that we'll see that going up. And it's just, I'm very proud that I can do everything I do and continue to get A's in my classes. I think that is worth appreciating in myself. So
And how do you think that campus supports that mentality of leaning into comprehension and really focusing on the learning part of it?
I think it's because a lot of classes are project based. It's not like here, read 3 chapters, memorize them, take a quiz, which obviously there is reading and quizzes and memorization, but the focus is more on like applying whatever we're talking about to a real life scenario. And so that focus on comprehension, that's the best way to do it.
You talked about being proud of your grades and accomplishing such a high GPA, even with all the other things you have going on in your life. And I'm curious, why do you get so involved in the campus community? And why is it so important to you to say yes to everything?
It's just, what do I have to lose? Saying yes to everything and taking it all in. I mean, I've been afforded this opportunity to be here, so I'm trying to milk it as much as I can while I'm here, because it is only 2 years, and is that seems like a long time, but at the end of the day, it goes by fast, and you want to make the connections, to these amazing professors that while you're here, and just be able to, because it's online. Like, we were not going to be able to go out and like, I don't know what people do in regular universities, rush sororities or something. So we're not going to have that experience, but there are so many, other opportunities that I feel like everybody should be taking.
Do you think that there's anything you've been able to do or accomplish as a campus student that you might not have been able to do at a different school?
I mean, going back to like this business idea that I've had for several years, I haven't really felt a push to do it until I came to campus, to kind of dive into what that would look like a little bit more and develop that business plan out. previously to being here and having some of the resources that I have now. So I think that would be the biggest one. Because an idea is just an idea, and it's been floating around in my head for a long time, but I haven't felt like I had a push to do it until campus. And I think that's just because of the energy around here.
Ooh, tell me more about that. What do you mean by the energy?
Everyone just wants to really do something, with their lives and in business specifically, mostly. And everyone's just got this drive to them of like really just wanting to succeed. And you see it in class, you see it in your these discussion groups we have with our TAs, where they're like some people miss like one or two things on a quiz, and they're like, no, I really need to know exactly what I did wrong so that I can be better next time. Like, that's the kind of drive that everybody has here, instead of just like, whatever, I missed that question, like, it's not a big deal. Like, people really want to know for their own sake, for their own comprehension, back to that again, so that they can be better next time. And there's a drive within everybody here at campus. I think that's why they're all here, in a specialized program like this.
And how does campus support that drive?
I mean, just the class offerings for one. I think it really, they're really tailored to that kind of future that somebody might want to have. And just with all the other resources, like my success coach has helped me beyond just like, hey, I was late to class last week, like, can you help me with that? Or beyond like, hey, I had a conflict with somebody, like in a group project. She's also helped me when I was unemployed before I found my current role in that first quarter of campus. She was sending me like job interview tips, like YouTube videos on like how to explain past scenarios in the best way during a job interview, like helping me in all areas of my life outside of just school. And I think that supports that energy also.
And speaking of this job that you've interviewed for and then ultimately went on to get the position, have you seen any applications between what you're learning in class and what you're doing in your job?
Yeah, so I ended up kind of moving industries from education technology over to the human capital management industry, which is all HR and payroll. So, in that first quarter, even with my business classes and my accounting classes, I felt like there were so many concepts that I learned through having to learn, like, what does it take to be what are my clients who are controllers and HR managers doing every day? And a lot of that I actually did discuss in my classes. So that was nice, especially accounting. Because I didn't, and even in business, I didn't know that, there were social security taxes that the employer had to pay also, not just the employee, that those are split in two. Like, that's all stuff that I am glad that I had the knowledge of on both sides.
Looking ahead to your future goals in this company that you're planning to build, how do you think that campus is preparing you to do that?
Yeah, so the entrepreneurship class obviously is, like I said earlier, it is an incubator in itself. I didn't work on my personal idea because we were in teams, and I wanted to, be able to have the opportunity to work on my idea by myself. I actually ended up doing that simultaneously though. So I did the group project, and then I worked on my personal business idea in tandem during the course. Not in super depth, but because I wasn't going to put that much extra work on myself. But that was fun to go through. Same with the business plan that we did at the very beginning of campus in that business class with Todd, or with Professor Fitch. I was able to kind of use those same concepts with the business.
Well, Ashley, I think your story is so impressive. I'm so excited to see this company that you're planning to build. And I think that a lot of people watching will definitely be really inspired by your story and how you're taking advantage of this opportunity at campus. If that's you and you want to learn more about our online associate degree in business program, you can head to campus.edu to learn more and apply. And Ashley, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.